Well, hi there, everybody. Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church right here, and this is our weekly devotional. What shall we talk about this week? Why don't we talk about leaders? Leaders. You know what a leader is, don't you? Somebody who leads other people, somebody who influences other people, somebody that shows other people the right things to do, the way to go, things like that. Now, let me start with some questions. Is everybody a leader? No, everybody is not a leader. However, everybody has the potential to become a leader. Just kind of depends on what happens. Does everybody make a good leader? Oh, are you kidding? Absolutely not. Some people make terrible leaders. Some people should not be leaders, either because they're not good at it or because they're wicked, or the things that they do are wicked. Or they're foolish and they don't realize the things that they're doing aren't any good, or it's just going to cause trouble, or their own hubris, their own opinion, their own arrogance gets in the way of seeing that. That's not a good leader. Do leaders all have to be compassionate? Well, a truly good leader has to care about the people that he or she is leading. You have to care about them. You have to love them. You have to want them to be better. Teachers are good at this. Teachers are leaders in their classroom. They have to be leaders. They have to be the leader. The teacher has to be the leader in the classroom. However, some of those teachers, if you put them in a meeting or put them with other teachers, they don't say a word. They don't say anything. They let other people act as leaders, or they defer to the principal or the superintendent or the whoever it is that's leading whatever that meeting might be. There are people in church that are good leaders. There's some people in church that are not. You know what I love to see? I love to see people who don't think they are good leaders, and they're the only ones that think that. Everybody else thinks they're great. So if you give them a chance, you just give them a chance and a little bit of support, they do terrific things. I have seen this happen time and time again. And you get some people that are amazing leaders. If you just give them a chance and a little bit of support and a little bit of direction, and boy, they just take off. One of my favorite kind of leaders is the leader that everybody listens to when the questions start. You can get a bunch of people all together and they're all talking about something, and you always got one person that's just listening. Just paying attention to what's going on. Focusing on whoever's talking over here, focusing on whoever's talking over here. But then you get to a lull in the conversation, and this person speaks up. And sometimes they will ask a question or say something that makes everybody in the group go, "Oh, I didn't think of that." Now, they may not be the one doing all the talking, and they may not be the one leading the meeting, and they may not be the one with the best ideas. But they're the one that makes everybody stop and think. Stop and think. That is a really important leader. That's somebody to listen to. Now, what does my favorite book, the Bible, have to say about leaders? Well, it says lots of things. There were all kinds of leaders throughout biblical history, starting with Abraham, Moses, Jacob, all those guys at the beginning of time, all the way up to the apostles. Now, let's take one of my favorite leaders, Peter. Would you say that Peter was a leader in the apostles when he first got together with Jesus? I would say no. Most people would say no also. Peter was kind of a goober. I hate to say that. I don't want to make fun of a saint. I don't want to make fun of a man who was wonderful later on. But when he first started, he couldn't get out of his own way. It seemed that he always said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. Sometimes he said the right thing. Like when Jesus said, "Who do you say I am?" And nobody said anything. And finally Peter said, "You are the Christ." He got it right. He got it right. He got it right. Terrific. And then Jesus pretty much told him, "You know what? I'm going to call you Rock from now on." Petros in the language that Jesus spoke, which means Peter, the name that we give him today. Simon Peter, he was the one that Jesus was going to build the church on. And boy, Peter became a wonderful leader after Jesus had finished, after Jesus had risen into heaven. Then Peter became the leader. He went from a pure follower to a leader. Sometimes people can change. And sometimes they can become amazing, amazing people. But we got to give them a chance. Leaders need support. They need information. They need ideas. But they also need other people to also be leaders. So let's think about that. Think about who God chooses as leaders. And let's also think about who does God choose as a leader in this situation at this time right now. That might be important too. Let's have a prayer, shall we? Dear Lord, you call all of us to do something. Whether it's great or small, whether it's influential or insignificant, you call us all to do something. When we are called to be leaders, may we be strong and faithful and do as you say. Amen. So go, my friends. Go into the world that needs you. And if you're chosen, lead. Amen.